Contrary to how this disorder is thought of, only 15 to 25% of people affected have what is called coprolalia, verbal tics in the form of obscenities.
I was standing at a bank, in line at a bank, a couple years before the automatic tellers came out, and I have a tic where I say nigger, okay? Don't mean anything by it, okay? Have absolutely no problem. There's no racial intent. It's simply a coprolalia. It's something that I don't want to say, and that's the word that comes out. And it's often triggered by seeing a black person, because I know that's what I don't want to say. So I was standing in line at a bank, and there was a very large black man in front of me wearing a purple sweater, a bright purple sweater. And I had to go to the bank. I was going away for the weekend. I didn't have a card. And I was trying to suppress it, and eventually what I came out with was purple nigger, twice. And he turned around really cool, and he just looked at me and he said, "You got a problem, you think niggers are purple."
Hey, white boy! Hey, white boy!
Okay.
Hey, white boy! Hey, white boy! Hey, white boy!
Sir.
Hey, white boy!
I wanted to say that I really think that women have a different experience with Tourette because of the way men are socialized. Men are socialized so that it's easier for them to show their anger. They're socialized so that it's easier. If a man swears, it's, oh, well, that's the boy. It's a boy thing. Boys do that. You know, and if you have hard ass, bitch! If you have a woman who's coming out with obscenities, all of a sudden it's suggestive, or it's, you know, you're leading someone on. I don't know the number of guys who've said to me, well, you must want to put out, look at what you're saying. And I said, that has nothing to do with it. Don't you understand?
Were you talking about how the looks and...
I say you're reluctant to Haldol, Prolixin, Prozac is classified as antidepressants.
Okay, absolutely.
I'm really curious about it. The strains not related to anything else.
I don't think anybody knows about Prozac. But any medication that affects the
I guess I
brain.
want to ask you, if your son came up to you and said, "Daddy, I'm suffering, I'm not in school, my tics are bad, I have new friends, I have a new girlfriend, why did you have me if I have Tourette?" I want to say I would have hated my parents if they had known. I really would have. If they had known and they had passed this on, that really would hurt me. They're trying, you know, the older I've got, they really would try to do. They weren't thinking about me. They were thinking about themselves.
Would you want it to be aborted because you had Tourette's?
No, that's what I'm saying. If they didn't know, they didn't know. My parents didn't know, and that's. I guess that's. It just. Why would they put me through this if they knew what they went through?
That scares me, the thought of even having kids. There's so much involved with that. For one thing, you got the fact that I'm going to feel guilty as hell. Because those are my kids, and I'm the one who gave them this disorder.
Yeah, thank you.
And another thing you got to realize is they're going to have a parent, me, who is so totally different from any other of the parents. They're going to get ostracized by just that. Even if they don't have Tourette, they're going to have a parent who's whacked out. They're going to have a parent who goes to PTA meetings and screams obscenities.
One thing that you need to always remember is that if you choose to have a child, and if the child does have TS, they'll have the best role model that they could ever have in you, the parent. Because there's nothing that they're ever going to face that you haven't faced and had to deal with, and you can teach them how to survive and how to make it. And that's something that many of us never had. So that's an enormous, enormous leg up on having children. My son is very well aware of his TS. Every year at the beginning of the year he makes presentations to his class. He has them filmed, he has the literature, people see him tick. He says, "Come here, I want to tick." Saying something about his tick is automatically a 30-minute lecture. So, you know, if you notice his ticks only at peril of your time, because he'll hold you down and tell you all about it no matter what your age.
Me? Oh. I have a good question. I notice everybody has wedding rings on here. Well, how do you get to that point? I mean, I can't even date.
I paid her.
I live off of Social Security. I don't have enough money to pay anybody. No, I don't know how you get there because I can't find someone decent to date unless they have some form of disability. And, I mean, I want to find somebody too. How did you all get there? I mean, how did you find your wife or your husband, and how did you get there?
I've wondered, you know, how do they really feel? What do they really think about me having Tourette's? I have thought about that. I've thought about the possibility of getting married someday or getting involved, and really, really wondering, even though the person says, you know, I accept you, I love you for who you are, the Tourette's doesn't matter, you know, blah, blah, blah. I wonder, you know, if they ever sit next to you, do you think your wife ever sits next to you and thinks, I wish Lowell could just sit still tonight?
I've attempted, yeah, and had a bad relationship with a woman. But I've had good relationships as friends. Early on, I've had sexual relationships with women, which were good, but they weren't really social. They were more private. Some were embarrassed to go out in public, and one admitted, several admitted. And to some, I can sympathize in some way, but when they get over that, I haven't had a sustaining relationship with any one woman.
Ever?
No. Look, I've called these women, they call me back once in a while. I've tried to set up dates with them, and they don't really respond, you know? They don't. They don't seem to. Hey, look, they know I'm not violent. I'm not violent with them or threatening or anything like that.
I'm really looking for a more serious relationship right now with someone. 21, so I'm young yet. I got time, I know. But I've never really had a real relationship. I'd like one, just something. I think that has a lot to do with it. People are just real scared off by me. And the people who do hang around, men especially who hang around me, see me as buddies all the time. And it's something, you know, I'm their drinking buddies and someone they can take out and party with and just a good old friend. But I very rarely get seen as a woman. I think that goes back to what we were talking about before. You know, a lot of the sounds and movements and words I make are not really that feminine.
I want you to meet Lowell Handler.